Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all doing well. So let's continue with our series. Today in this episode, we are going to work on this category section of product service. This is the one single feature which is going to be unblock our user service and transaction service, because once this category is completed, then we can go ahead and create our cart where we will be working on view and add cart of user service. And in parallel, we can work on the transaction service create and view order as well as, right? And once this add cart and the create view order or create order section is done, then we will again revisit this product service in order to work on this deal section, right? This is a kind of complicated feature that is we need to look into once this the cart section we have implemented, right? So let's get it done one by one. Let's assume this is our home page, right? Where we are going to display our deals as a kind of rotating banner. And we have all the categories. All the categories can have a main category, right? Each main category can have a subcategory, or maybe subcategory also can have a subcategory also, right? So how we can create this kind of mechanism, that is we are going to work on, right? And secondly, in the home page, we're going to display some the category information. As an example, the top categories we can list it out. The top 10 categories we can display right here in the second slot, right? By ranking, as an example, mobile phones, computer, clothings, and etc. we can list it out. And if you click on the view all, then you can see all the categories in order to depends on the ranking. We are maintaining some kind of ranks. As an example, see the 5, 4.9 or something, we can use it, or we can just add it. And another thing is in the top category, whatever the top category is going to be listed right here. Here we can see we are going to list a tree. Then we can display all the tree, or maybe it depends on how much we can just accommodate in this web page. Apart from that, we can list it out, right? If you see here in the mobile phones, then this is the one of the options from the top category, and that top category can have certain products that is we are going to promote, all right? While we are going to visit this home page. The top 10 products we can display right here, and if you click on the view all, then you can see all the products of this specific category, right? As an example, let's visit one of the website. So let's have a look at this site. So you can see this is the same mechanism they are also following, but we are also going to use the same kind of stuff, but a little bit different. The things they are displaying their items based on their business logic, right? The business strategy, whatever they are just to try to follow. Okay. So, and another thing is, so these are some of the categories which is they're displaying, all right? If you click one of the categories from here, as an example, this one, and you can see this is a kind of category, and this category has these are the products exactly. And if you see this category, this is all, and this is the main category, and this is the subcategory, and this subcategory also can have this subcategory. So if you click one of the category from here, then you can see the similar items, right? So these are the products exactly belongs to this, right? So this is how they're just to try to display the category items. The same thing we are going to do right here by we are going to display all the top categories by ranking. And so once you click here, right, then it will take you to that page, specific page where we're going to display all the items, related items of this one, right? Maybe you are not maintaining the multi-level, the subcategories, but we are going to keep the provision. So I will show you how we can do that, right? A similar kind of mechanism we are going to implement. Right? And another thing is, once you go here and you can see this is the another specific options, right? Where you can find all the top categories of these specific items. These are the items. So let's try to translate to English. All right, you can see this is the kind of name, or maybe it's a kind of deal or something else, all right? But if you can see here, we can consider all these listed items, whatever exactly this deal specifically applied, that is they're displaying right here. As an example, we can, as a top category product, we can consider in the first place as a mobile phones, and in the mobile phones categories, we can consider all the top products and display right here. If you click view all, then it will take you to a kind of specific page where we can see all the relevant products of the mobile phone section. So here, if you go here and click on the view all, then you can see all the listed products. Can see all the listed products are here, right? It doesn't have a much more product, I believe, but yeah, it has a lot of products. It has, right? But again, if you go to view all, again, view all also has a kind of different mechanism of the displaying the products. It has a specific section, and each section can have a different variety of the products, right? So you can see this is a separate one. This is also a separate one, right? This is also a separate category, all right? So that means while you are going to click on the view all, the first preference will be display all the relevant product of this specific category, and rest of all we can display the other products also, which maybe customer may love to buy, or maybe customer may love to browse it. So that is a kind of different strategy of display products. That is also we are going to do it because anyway we are going to use the microservice aggregator. So nothing to worry. So let's get it done one by one. So here in the category API, we are going to handle all the routes, right? So let's do the same thing which is we did for our products, right? Let's go ahead and copy all these things from here, right? And add it right here. So this is no more required, right? Let's try to add some more code in the category section. So here, this product service will be no more required here because it will be our category service and category repository. Let's try to add some code in repository section. Here you can see this is our category repository. First of all, we will add some code here. All right, so our category service and repository is ready for a while. Let's hook up with the category API. Here, instead of this one, will be just remove this two and provide it category repository, and this is our category service, right? Certainly, we don't have all these functions, right? So let's try to add all these functions first. So what we are going to do here, from the product service, if you go to product service, similar kind of pattern we are going to follow, right? Create, get, edit, update, delete, all these things. Just grab all these things from here and go to our category service. Try to add all these things here. Right. So for a while, let's try to comment it out everything. Let's try to fix this import issue. Quick fix from here. All the missing imports. Perfect. So now let's rename all this product with the category. All right. So I'm gonna select this one. All right. Then under press Command D again, select everything. Right. And let's try to implement just like this, which is called category. Right. Now all the categories has been in it's replaced. Right. Create category, get categories. Right. This is categories. Yes. And get category, edit category, delete category, right? Now let's go here in the category API and replace all this category create product with the create category right here with the create. This is cool, but it is complaining, right? Because we are not returning anything, and it's a kind of type of function is a void, and we are just to try to return it right here. That is not gonna work because it's expecting the AWS gateway proxy result, right? But it's right now it is returning as a kind of void function. So we need to fix that. We will do that very quickly. But before that, let's try to implement MIDI here because in the previously we haven't implemented MIDI. As you can see here in the products also, we just try to parse our JSON, right? So instead of the parsing this one, we need to use our MIDI. And how we did our user service in a similar way we are going to do it because it's a kind of Lambda functions, right? It makes sense. Let's try to install MIDI. Perfect, so it is installed now. And if you go here in this category API, right, we will try to wrap it up all this async function, this handler with MIDI. Here, instead of this async, let's try to put it MIDI, right? MIDI, it's imported. Now, just to try to wrap it up a whole function with MIDI. Here, then use. We're going to use our JSON body parser also, which is we have already installed here. If you can see, we have installed our HTTP JSON body parser from media as well as, right? The similar thing we did for our user service, the same way we are going to do that one as well as. But you can see this is going to be complaint the way we have resolved the problem for our user service right after using the MIDI, right? Similar type of pattern we need to use right here as well as. So let's go to our category service first. Here, right after this constructor, we need to create one function that is called async. But anyway, this is cool. So we have our these error functions from our service. Let's try to return it right here. This is going to be our service. Dot response with error. Right. This is, we just need to make it like this and pass the event here. So now this issue is resolved. Now let's resolve one by one these functions, like where we'll be creating our categories. In order to create our category, we need to have some kind of input, right? Let's try to add some kind of input here inside this DTO directory. That will be our category. That's input. Yes. Right. The similar way we did for our product class, the category input also we are going to do it. So I'm going to add some code quickly. Perfect. So we have added our create category input, right? That is perfectly fine. But one more input we need to add, because while we are just going to create our product, then we need to inform the category also. Hey, this is the one of the new product has been created. Just kindly update this specific product to your category list. Because if you go here in this diagram, you can see once you click on this category, right? As an example, this this computer or mobile phone, then specific category also can have a products, because we cannot add directly that product to the main category, because main categories mean to be maintaining the level of all the categories, right? So that is why we need to add one more input. Let's try to add that one. So this add item input will be going to be have on the ID. That is going to be our category ID, and all the products. Whatever the products we are going to add, those products we are going to add inside this string. It's a kind of ID, right? So that is we can consider here, and we can put it inside this. Perfect. So our add item input going to help us to inject the products to our category list. Cool. Now let's go to this category API. Here, let's try to create this category first, right? Here, if you click here, let's try to resolve this complaint, and let's try to. Right here, this success response, we need to resolve it, because we need to import this one first. Import it. Now the complaint has gone, I believe, right? Yeah, the complaint has gone. So right before create the category, let's create the model first, because the way we have created our product model, the similar way we are going to utilize for similar kind of the model pattern we are going to utilize for our category as well as. So let's grab all this code from here and just to create our category model. Cool. So this is absolutely not our product model. This is going to be our category model, right? And this is again the category doc. So let's try to select everything. This one as well as, right? This is going to be our the category doc, and this is not product schema. This is going to be our category schema. Right? And the similar way we are going to do for this one and this one and this one, this one. These are all right? Just select all these products from here. Let's go categories. Categories. Cool. And this is also category. This is perfect. Now let's get rid of all these things from here. Name is going to be needed, right? Name is going to be needed. And rest of all will be same, just like we are going to remove the created and updated from here, and timestamp it will remain the same. Other things we can add it here, that's going to be like name Perfect. So our category model is created. So let's see what are the things available in this category model. So we are keeping the name translations. This name translations we are adding here because if we need to support localization, then certainly you need to provide the translations option also. So this is the way we can adding the language. All right. This is English. This is German. All right. And the type of the string, like what are the translation, what are the name of that specific things, you can just put it right here, right, in English. Against of English you can put, against of German you can put, or some other language also you can add it right here. And parent ID is needed because depends on this parent ID we can determine whether this category is a main category or subcategory. And if it is a kind of main category, let's add all the subcategory reference here, right? Technically, while you are retrieving this main category, then you will get all the listed subcategory information also along with this, right? And if it is a kind of subcategory, all right, and it has a parent ID as well as, right, it doesn't have any kind of information regarding the subcategory, then absolutely we need to provide the products also here, all right? Then while we will be adding the product, then that product reference, we will push it right here in the product. So while you are browsing this subcategory, then you will get all the listed products, all the belonging products for this subcategory, you can get it here. So display order is a kind of ranking number, that is we can determine to figure out like what are the top categories we can get it. Like give me all the top categories. Then depends on this display order we can figure out, right? And this is going to be something like this. We can maintain some kind of a reverse number. As an example, 100 to 1 as an example. So technically this is our top category, all right? Or vice versa, it's up to you. Like you can just maintain 1 or maybe it's 100, but make sure while you are just creating this product, we have a kind of default number then. If you are maintaining reverse, then reverse order, right? Then 100 to 100 is suppose top category, then 1 will be the last category. Then by default number we need to maintain here, right? And let's go to here, and this category service. Let's try to uncomment all these things from here. And let's try to import this plain to class. API validator as well as, right? Now this is category input is not imported, right? That is we need to import it. Just try to import it. That is we have created inside our DTO and DTO directory. Cool. Now these are the lines has been covered. Now let's handle the create category, right? Inside the repository, if you go here we need to add one function that is called async. So first of all, we are going to create a new category and we will check if parent IDs exist or not, right? And if the parent IDs exist, then update the parent category with the new subcategory ID in the subcategory section. And after that, return the newly created category. That is the things we are going to do. So let's add some code quickly. Perfect. So now we have added all the code. So what we did here, so we have just created the new category, all right, by calling this create function of this category model, where we are just providing name and the parent ID. So name is essential, parent ID is not essential. So if we are not providing any parent ID, then it will be created as a kind of parent ID is a null, all right? And subcategory will be a kind of empty array, and the products will be a kind of empty array while we are just creating our category, right? Then we're checking it out if the parent IDs exist, then find it out the parent ID, all right? And update the parent ID with like all the subcategories, it's existing subcategory of the parent ID, all right? It's a kind of spread operator we are just using to explore it. And after that, add this new category ID as well as, right here. So technically this new parent, this specific parent category will be having the newly created category as well as, right, inside the subcategory arrays. So, and finally we're just saving our parent category and returning our new category from here, right? So this is how the create category is done. So if you go here, then the create category, right now it is done, and let's return this data to right here. Cool. So our create category is done. Let's try to call this get category. In the similar way, we are going to do the same, all right? So here, get all categories. This is get all categories. So let's try to add this function here inside right after this. So in the get category section, we are just to try to get the offset of by default offset will be 0, and we are just to try to get the per page also, because while we are going to use from our front end, then certainly we should have to have a kind of mechanism of pagination, right? To maintain the pagination, we are just keeping this provision also, right? So we'll be working back on the pagination section also, while we'll be just touching our front end section, right? But at least let's leave these options right here. Okay. So first of all, we just try to find out the categories by parent ID will be null. So parent ID will be null. That means while we are finding out the categories, then we are not interested in subcategories. We are interested in main categories only. So listed out all the main categories first. While we will be finding out all the main categories, make sure it should have to give us the subcategories also, right? So populate will be doing like it will populate all the reference data. If you see in this model, we're giving the reference of that specific the subcategory, right? And subcategory also a kind of our category model, right? This is which we have created right here, the same type, right? It's a kind of cyclical, you can say it's a kind of reference of our categories, right? So it can maintain like one category can have another category, and that another category can have another subcategory, something like that. And populating the subcategories, and its model will be the categories, and that subcategories also can have subcategories, and that subcategories again is a kind of model type of the categories, right? And we are just to try to skip a specific offset, whatever offset we are sending from the front end, that is, and after that we are just to try to limiting the page. By default, if we are not providing any number, then it will provide us like 100, right? 100 numbers of the categories, it will return it from here, right? So let's go ahead in the category service here and check it out. Yeah, this is cool, and this is perfectly fine right now. Right, now let's try to get category by ID. If we see here, this is category ID, this is cool, but it will be small letter, right? And this is also small letter. And this is also small letter. Now we don't have a function that is called the get category by ID. That is, we need to create it, right? Add one more function. All right, so here in the get category by ID, first parameter we are taking the category ID. All right, that is we need to provide it from here, right? That is from the path parameter we are just getting it, right? So as soon as we are calling this one, then the second option is offset, and the purpose also we are just giving the options, because that specific category can have thousands of the products, right? Then how can we get the child products, all the products from maybe 10 products or 20 products, how we can get it, right? So this is the way we can get it, by mentioning some kind of offset or per page, how much exactly it's needed, right? So with the help of the slice operator, we can get it something like this way in Mongoose, right? Just to mention your array, and the first parameter will be the offset, and second parameter will be your limit, like how many numbers of the products is going to be needed for here. Okay. So that is we did here in the get category by ID. Cool. Now go back to the category service and then uncomment this edit category section, right? Now, so here, let's rename this one. So perfect. So now here in the update category, it doesn't exist, right? Let's go to the repository and create one function that is called update category. And so update category is very simple. We're simply taking the category input just like we did for our create category. And here, nothing we are editing, only just the name and the display order we are just editing right here, right? And if you wish to edit the rest of all, then you can go ahead and add some more functions, more code right here to save, give a save accordingly, like as you want. Okay, cool. So the edit category also done, and let's try to call the delete category the similar way. Let's try to rename all these things. Again, this delete category doesn't exist. Let's go here in the repository, right? Category repository. Let's try to add one more function. Right, perfect. So delete category also done now. Cool. So our basic operation of the category service is completed, right? But what if? How we are going to add the items to the category? We can just create our category, we can get category, and everything is like it's gonna work. But how we can add it while we are going to add our product from here in the product service, like, right? So if you go here, sorry, not from here, from the product service, we need to notify our category service also, or maybe category repository also. This product is created, right, along with this specific category ID, right? So make sure this product has to be enclosed in the category. So that is, we need to handle it. So let's try to add 2 more functions in the category repository in order to handle that. So I'm gonna add some code quickly, and I will just get back to you once that is done. Perfect. So what we did here, first of all, adding item in add item, we're just taking the ID and the products as we have created this this input here. All right. So ID and the products. Product is a kind of string, that is, we are going to pass it from the product while we are going to create from the product service, right? And let's try to close this one. And once we have received this input from there, right, then we will finding out the category by ID. All right. And that category by ID will be try to spread out all this existing product plus the products also, whatever the products we are going to pass it from here. So here you might have thinking like, why we're just keeping this product as a kind of string, hence we can keep it as an example only one single product. So why we have added this one, in future we are going to add or remove products, all right, from the category also. That is also options we are going to give it, right? So in that case, you can have multiple products, which is you need to add it to specific category. Then how we will add it? So rather than having multiple functions for that, just to keep it like this way. That's why we're just keeping it. ID is a kind of string, that's fine, and product is a kind of array of the strings. It's a kind of array of the products we are just adding it, right? So that specific simple trick can solve on that specific issue. Okay, so now in the remove items, this is the similar kind of logic, but again here only one trick we did while we are just removing the product. Then only we just try to filtering out by intersecting this product items, whatever the products array has, all right, whatever the items we are providing it out from here. If that product item is exist here in the products filter, then skip it. Okay, then exclude all the product items, and finally we just update all the excluded items here in the category products, right? It's assigning here. And finally save the product category here. So all the skipped products also going to be get removed from there, and rest of all product will be remain here inside the category. So this is how we did here. Cool. Now our category repository is perfectly fine. Okay, so here in the product service, make sure that all these two functions going to be called. One is from add item from the create product, and remove item from the delete product. We need to call it. Right, let's add one by one. So this data.id is a kind of any, so we don't want to provide any kind of data from here, right? So it has to be strictly typed. So we are not following strictly typed, but still let's go ahead and give some kind of type here, and while we just try to create the product, make sure we are returning a promise. Perfect. Now it is product doc, and we can probably get this data ID. Cool. And now create product is done. The similar way we are going to add it here in the delete also. While we are deleting the product, make sure that product has to be removed from our category. Right. So right after this, right after giving the response, right here, not the input, this product ID we need to provide it. But here is the challenge exactly, because we have the product ID, we don't have the category ID. So somehow we need to get this specific category ID from the product section also, right? So how we can get it? Let's try to do like this way. Go delete product, and here we can say const delete result. Cool. So while we are deleting the product, make sure beforehand, before deleting this product, grab the category ID, right, from that product, right? Then we have the category ID, then delete the product, right? Then return the delete result as well. So this delete product function going to be return the multiple value that is called category ID and delete result, right? We don't need to create a kind of different what is called interface for this. So this is going to resolve the problem. So now let's go ahead and here implement this one. This is going to be our category ID and delete result. Delete result, and make sure this category ID we are just passing it right here, right? Then this product ID we can get it from here, because we are deleting this product by determining this product ID. So make sure you are just providing this product ID here. We can just provide like this. That's perfectly fine. So only one thing is pending here. If you can see, we are having the main category, we are having the products also, but how we can get the top categories? So that's a kind of challenging things, right? Because if you go here in the category API, if you can look at, we're getting categories and we are getting category by ID, right? That is the two things exactly it's happening. But if you go to get categories, then it is giving all the categories, and whenever the parent ID is null, that means it is only returning the main categories. It's not returning the top categories, which is technically a kind of subcategories, right? So that is we need to display in this page. Not the main category. We are not displaying the main categories here. We are displaying the subcategories, top subcategories. So that is we need to handle it. So let's try to handle this one. So right after this get category, let's try to create one more function that is going to be our get the top categories. Here in the get top categories, we just try to find out all the parent ID is not equal to null, right? This not equal operator we are using just to determine whether all the subcategories are, because subcategories technically will be having the parent ID, right? So then it will give us all the subcategories, and we are just to try to figure out only the 10 products of that the subcategory is going to be needed. Each subcategory will be having only 10 products, right? That is, we are just to try to find it out, and we are populating all these products, right? And order of displaying the products are like display order, depends on the display order of the category, that is we are doing here, and order is descending. That means we are using the reverse order, like in 100 to 1, something like this, all right? And only we are displaying the limit of the 10. That is the top categories we are just displaying, right? So now you can see this use case also it's fulfilled, right? So all the use cases are covered. Main category we have, all right, we have subcategories, we have our top categories also, all right, and we have our top categories along with the product ID as well as, right? Perfect. So we have added the get top categories as well as, right? So, but there is a challenge. So where we will call this get top categories, because we don't have enough endpoints, right? So let's check it out here in the category API. If you can see, here we are just creating category, and this is the place where we are getting the categories. And this is the get category. We cannot utilize it, right? Only the place we can call it the get categories. So if you go here where we are calling the categories, right? Here what we will do, we will try to get some kind of the query parameter, all right? Because if we are not providing any query parameter, then we will be giving all the main categories. And if you're giving some kind of the query parameter, what type of categories you want, if we can provide that, then certainly we will give some kind of data based on the query parameter, right? Let's try to do that. So here we are getting the query parameter, right? Query string parameter that is called type. If you are providing right after this get all categories a kind of type, then certainly we will check if the type equal top, then just to provide the get all the top categories. Otherwise, simply return the all categories. So this else block is not required, but still it's up to you. But I think this is not required, right? If this condition will satisfy, then it will return from here it will not execute this piece of code, right? Cool, perfectly fine. Now this is the time to give it a try, but right before that, only one single thing we need to take care, because here you can see in the model, right? We have used the models directly from referring to the models by specific names, but we have a kind of cross relationship between this product model and the category model, right? In category you can see this product, right? This product exists because it's a kind of Lambda function we are going to execute. Then this Lambda function will not having kind of access of this product model, right? This products model. So how we can do that? So let's try to create one index file inside the model and try to import everything. Export star from product model, yeah, product model, and star from category model. Now, wherever this product model is being used, as an example, in the product repository, we are having used this one, right? So let's remove this model part, right? So now we are referring to this model, and once we are calling this model, then both the files is going to be executed, right? Then we will be having access of right here. If you are trying to access from the product repository, the category model, still you have the access. And the similar thing we are going to do it wherever it's going to be used right here. Maybe let's try to find it out in the models. Maybe something like this. Is in the category repository we have, yeah. Just try to remove this one as well as this one. Cool. Now we have category models here, and yeah, these are the places where bits being used. And here also, and here also, and here also. Cool. So everything is now handled, right? Now let's give it a try. So our server is running on localhost port 2000. Let's go to Postman, and let's go here in the create category. We're just creating a kind of category that is called electronics. And image URL, just make sure this is the same type of convention we are going to use right here or not. Go to source code and the DTO on category input. Okay, image not dash URL, image URL. This is going to be like this. Right, but anyway, we are not saving the image URL for a while. So let's try to skip it, or maybe we can go ahead in the category model. We can look into that image URL we have added or not. We haven't added. Provide that image URL as well as. My bad, I just skipped that one maybe somehow. So display order right after this. String. Cool. Then we need to provide that as well as while we are just creating our category repository, maybe here, image URL, and provide its image URL. Cool. And in the edit section also we need to do the same. Update category right here. Image URL, and here also image URL. Okay, so this is not necessary for main category, but it's optional. Cool. So let's try to create this one. I'm gonna create one category that is called electronics. And can you see this parent ID? I'm just putting it null, right? It is some error, I believe. So what is the error exactly? It is saying JSON parser unexpected token at position right here in the category service category API. Here we are using MIDI. That's fine. They create category. Yeah, we need to just remove this part, right? Because we are already using MIDI, so we no need to convert all those things to JSON once again. And make sure in other places also, yeah, this is the place where we are being used, the JSON parser, because right now MIDI will do everything for us, right? So this is the same way we can go ahead and do for our product service also from here. The product API, you can implement the same way for category API, use MIDI for the product API as well as you can do it. Okay, so let's focus on the testing part first. Again, I'm gonna rerun the server. Cool. Now let's try to create once more. Yeah, can you see now it is created, right? Then we can say this is electronics. Then we can say clothings. Now you can see we're getting all the main categories, right? Well, now let's try to create one more subcategory that is going to be here. We will be this time we will be providing the parent ID, and this is going to be our phones as an example. Right now, if you again go to get categories and click here, then you should be able to see the subcategories as well as. Yeah, can you see? We have all the subcategories right here. See, this is the subcategories, right? As an example, we have one more subcategory that as an example, this smart TV can have something else also. Smart TV can have a different brands also. Let's try to add that one also. Again, go to create category, then just to put it right here, this parent ID, and here will be put as an example Samsung or maybe LG. Right. So this it says like we kept a kind of name of the brand name, right? So LG TVs as an example. Smart TVs. Or we can put life is good. That's also perfectly fine. But let's try to put the LG smart TVs. All right. So now it is able to create it. And if you go to get categories, all right, that is exactly this one, right? Main category, subcategory. And if you have one more category inside the subcategory, then you should have to able to get this one, right? So that is the thing. Can you see? This is our main category, electronics, and this is our subcategory called smart TVs. And smart TV also can have a category that is called LG smart TVs, right? Now this is perfectly fine. So let's try to create a kind of product, right? So how we can do that? As an example, we can go for these phones, right? This category ID, we are just to try to get it and create product. Now this right. So now we have created two products, right? And if you go here and click on the get categories, certainly you will see the product ID somewhere, right, inside these subcategories. But you will not get all the information related to product. So that is pretty much convenient. If you can see here, main category can have the information of the categories. All right, categories can have information of categories only, right? Where now we need to check whether if we are putting a certain category ID or name, then are we able to get the product information or not. So that is how we can check it out. As an example, this subcategory ID, we are taking it out and call get category by ID, right? So this is what, and offset we can put it, or it's up to us, like, right? But if we can put this offset, right, then we should have to be able to see that this one, right? See, now we are getting this too, right? If we are putting offset base size 1, then it should have to give us only one product. Okay, so somehow we have not implemented maybe this pages, right? Go to product here, get category by ID. Here we have not implemented this offset, right? So let's try to grab the offset. Offset and per page. Cool. Now let's try to restart our server once more and try to call this one. It should have to give us only one single product. Now you can see it is perfectly working. So it is giving only one single product. Cool. Now I think we have covered everything for our category section. So one more thing only it's left, like when we are creating our product, right? And if you can see, if we remove these things, then we can get all the product informations from here, right? Because this category, the phones has a kind of 2 products, right? And the similar way, if we are going to delete this specific product, it should have to be removed from here as well as. So let's just try to do so. As an example, I'm gonna remove this Google Pixel, this phone from here. Go and delete product from here. Yeah, and delete count is 1. Product is deleted. If you go again and get category by ID, call this one, it should have to see like only one product is left in this category. Yeah, cool. So awesome. That's perfectly, it's working. So we have covered everything right here. In main category we are getting it, while we're calling this thing the get category, then we can receive all the category informations here. This is covered, right? And the top categories we can see here, if you provide some kind of parameter right here in the category type equal to top, then if you call this one, then certainly it will give us all the subcategories. Whatever the subcategories are available, you can see there it has parent ID, and it has also parent ID because this is smart TV, and this is also another, right? Laptop, smart TV, everything is here, right? But the parent ID, electronics and clothing, fashions, all those things are not there. So this query, this is also resolved. And finally, we have resolved this one by calling this way. You can see by this one, right? Cool. All right, so that's all for today. In the next episode, we are going to work on the add to cart, where we are going to handle the user service, because the rest of all has been done and only these 2 sections is left, right? So as soon as we are working on add to cart, then we need to handle some kind of the communications between the user service and the product service, right? And where our microservice communication is going to happen, right? And another aspect of this user service is accessing the database of the local server, all right, which is we have stored in our local machine only. When we are going to deploy this user service in the AWS account, then we need to access that specific DB from AWS only, right? Because we cannot have the access of our local machine. So that is also we are going to handle it with the help of the RDS. Perfect. Then see you in another episode.